Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to AM Impact on Your Health. AM Impact on Your Health, for every day our goal is to have you learn at least one thing to help you live better and longer. AM Impact on Your Health is heard each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney, and I'm with you each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. AM Impact on Your Health, where each day you'll find current medical news, knowledgeable guests, fascinating health topics, and of course where we do encourage you to call in to join in. Today is a Friday version of the show, and we will have a segment right here at the beginning, a Boesha report right after our first break, bringing you up to speed on issues involving Boesha. Joe Giuliano is going to be our guest today. He is the #1 sales individual throughout the entire country. He's going to be coming to Pittsburgh. He's going to be telling you all about that and give him an opportunity to give his perspective of the company and the products. So we're going to do a Boesha report. Then we'll take a break. And at that point, just open it up to you. It then becomes the get 'em up, out of town version of the show you're so used to. While we're waiting for you to come on in and weigh in on whatever you'd like to at all, I got one topic I'll cover with you today, which is a 10-point checklist. Just check them off to see if you qualify for a diagnosis of adult attention deficit and hyperactivity disorder, ADHD. Hey, a disease of the kiddies? I don't think so. Manifests itself in other ways, and as an adult, there's a little checklist you can go through to see how you qualify, how you stack up. And I'll be bringing you that 10-pointer right after that first break, too. And in the interim, listening for that knock on the door. Now, you give us a call here at 412-825-6262, and they'll let me know you're knocking, and I'll let you in the store, and you can come on in and ask a question, make a comment. Anything on your mind is okay with me as soon as I open it up right after that first break. So it is a get 'em up, out of town version of the show in its most classical sense. I do have some things to share with you also. We'll see how it goes. Normally, you jump in, take over, and the rest is history. We'll see how far we get with it today. Okay, things up and coming on the agenda. Well, first of all, tomorrow, that's class #2 of TLS. Now, it's already started, so if you think that you'd like to be involved with the transition of the lifestyle system, you're going to have to wait for the next go-around coming up here in about 3 or 4 months. But we're going to have, because I get a little a blurb this morning from Dr. Angela Mitsos, we're still going to have a Boesha tasting tomorrow morning. It's going to be held at Dr. Tyson Swigert's office. That's what we call South Point Chiropractic, right at the South Point exit on I-79. So come on out if you're a South Hills individual. I understand the weather is supposed to be gorgeous. You may want to get out and have an early start of it. Stop in between 9 and 10 tomorrow at Dr. Tyson Swigert's office, right along the Morganza Road, just as you get off I-79 exit. Turn away from all the buildings there at South Point and head up the hill to the Hendersonville light at the top. When you hit the light, you'll see a shopping plaza on your left. Dr. Swigert's office is down in that area. Hope to see you there. So, Boesha, once again, with another tasting tomorrow morning. Now, Monday morning, Shannon goes and returns. Now, she's been a steady guest of ours each and every month. We refer to it as Microcurrent Mondays. And on Microcurrent Mondays, we hear from Shannon with the topic to be discussed on FSM. Of course, these 3 letters just keep creeping up on you. We got more 3-letter things going on here. Why do I lay the new one on you today? But that stands for Frequency Specific Microcurrent. She's an expert, and she has been coming now 4 months in a row to be with us on the show. And she's coming to Pittsburgh. She's going to be here on the 30th of the month in my office. Many of my patients are already scheduled to be seen by her so that we can get some refined input on developing microcurrent programs to help whatever ails them. And it's just sort of a little check off on me. I've been writing these programs, but I want Shannon looking over the shoulder, my shoulder at least, and helping those that are already in the practice. And if you think you'd like to be a part of that, give us a call at 724-942-3002 so we can reserve a slot for you. I think it'd be well worth the while, especially if you have any chronic pain problem whatsoever, any acute injury, and all organic disease also applies. So it's pretty much everything. Shannon will be our guest on Monday. And on Wednesday, get ready, folks. Literally a new treatment is being put together as we speak. We're going to become known as the Lyme's disease headquarters, and I'm pretty proud to say that the modalities that we have to combat this disease, which can reverse it, stop it. I don't know. Should you use the C word? I hate to use the C word. It just ablates this disease, and it utilizes the process of LDI. You've been hearing a lot about LDI. That's low dose immunotherapy from Dr. Ty Vincent. Should mention Dr. Vincent, who was last with us on Monday the 12th. I told you when we were together on Wednesday that the show was not really, it just didn't record well off air, on air, however you want to put it. So anyway, Bill was kind enough to download a copy of the show. I talked to the techie. I checked on it last night. The show is up. If you want to listen to part 2 of Ty Vincent talking about LDI, it is now on the website. Just go to djcmd.com. On the opening page, click on the icon marked Archives, and then just scroll down a little bit, and you'll see there on January 12th, the Ty Vincent Show is there, alive and well, perfectly clear and intelligible. I apologize for the difficulty. We'll make certain that in the future, as we do pre-recorded shows, I don't know what the difficulty is. We always did them in the past without a problem, but there is absolutely a problem now that was so warbled, I was embarrassed. Anyway, I've hopefully redeemed myself with you. And so now both shows are up. So we have the Ty Vincent Show from December the 8th. Yeah, I think it's December 8th. And that was part 1 of LDI. Now this is the show from Monday the 12th. It's part 2. There is a part 3 coming. Haven't had it scheduled yet. Everything good comes in threes. A trilogy seems to resonate with people, and I promise you, at the end of the line, when all 3 shows are done, we'll get them on a disc. They'll be available for you to want to pop that into your car's CD player at any time. It's coming up. It's not ready yet. We got to get the 3rd show under our belt, and plus the show that I did on Wednesday will be included in another disc. I think that's a well worthwhile attempt on my part to try to let you know which diseases we consider to be correctable, because I'll tell you, in the conventional realm, all the diseases I talked about on Wednesday, which are autoimmune, they are fixable. I don't know, there must have been 25 or 30 different diseases with pretty exotic names, but they're all scary, because if you suffer from any of them, you're going nowhere with a conventional therapy. Turns out they're all reversible, and we were able to reestablish health in every single case. And so stay tuned. We are the Lyme's disease headquarters. We're the treatment center. We call it get a load of this now, the anti-zone. I won't say anything more about it. We practice AZT. I won't say anything about that. They're just sort of little teasers that I will explain completely on the Wednesday show. So Wednesday show next week is on the anti-zone, and you'll completely understand what I mean by that, by the show's completion. And it really is the launch of a brand new era here in this office. Real happy to bring it to you. On the 23rd, going to bring Michelle Garlis is going to be here. Now, Michelle was here once before. She runs one of the 2 thermographic businesses in Western Pennsylvania. You're very familiar with Three Rivers Thermography. Well, there's another group. They're called Heat. I mention them because geographically you may be in the South Hills of Pittsburgh. Judy and the girls are up there in the North Hills. So if you are in the South Hills looking for some local way of getting thermography, thermograms, trying to avoid mammograms, that whole thing, we're going to bring Michelle Garlich with us just for a half a segment on next Friday so she can talk about her open house, which I'm making the second announcement for. If you are in the South Hills, ladies in particular, right across the street from a checkpoint you absolutely know about called South Hills Village on Fort Couch Road is this group called Heat. And they're going to have an open house 4 to 7 on the 28th of January. Everybody's invited. The specific address is 110 Fort Couch Road. Michelle will spend some time with us on the 23rd to let you all know about that open house and then talk about thermograms, thermography in general for just a bit. And I'm a big supporter of thermography done by everybody. And I'm happy to help and see if they can get you out there in the public to be able to be properly managed for your health-related issues. Also want to mention, too late to get in on the next eye treatment protocol. That's going to be on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this coming week. But if you're interested in up and coming, I will announce that the February eye treatment program, these 3-day treatment programs developed by Dr. Ed Conrad that we've been doing here in my office since July of 2013. The next one will be February 16, 17, and 18. If you think you'd like to know more about it, give us a call here at 724-942-3002. Ask for Sister Sarah, and she'll educate you as much as you require, getting you the right information, getting you scheduled for the next 3-day treatment programs, which are going to be held at February 16, 17, and 18. And I think that just about wraps it up for today in terms of the schedule. So let's do this. Take a short break. In the interim, we're going to go find a very good friend of ours. He's coming to town, by the way. He's Boesha's #1 go-to guy in the country when it comes to sales. He is as energetic as the day is long. Let's see how fired up he is this morning. His name is Joe Giuliano. We'll be right back in a moment with Joe.
We become confused.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AIM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9 o'clock. I'm Dr. Dennis Courtney with you today. Now, Friday morning version of the show, it is a get 'em up out of town version, but before we do open it up to you, we've got a custom around here. We try to bring you information about a very unique company with an extremely unique product line. We've been doing this now for quite a bit of time, and your interest in this has haven't even peaked yet. We keep on getting information and people who get exposed to a company called Boesha and enjoy their go-to drinks. Now, the number one guy in the country, folks, has been here before. He's coming back again. We decided to check in with him today to let him announce when he's coming to Pittsburgh and give you opportunity to meet him if you choose. His name is Joe Giuliano. We're going to say good morning. Hello, Joe, and welcome aboard once again.
Good morning, Dr. Courtney, and thank you for having me on. Great to be here.
Well, Joe, you're not just here in the abstract right now. You're going to be here in the flesh. I've got a fondness and a kinship developing here in Western Pennsylvania. And Joe, you're coming to town here in the last week of the month. So why don't we first start out by letting our listeners know when and where you're going to be this time around.
Well, I'm going to be here. I'm going to be there on the 26th in Butler, PA. They're at Balance for Wellness with Dr. Lori. I know that you and her are comrades.
Oh, yes.
And that's going to be at 6 p.m. Pretty exciting. See Dr. Lori's new office. And then on the 27th, I'm going to be there at the Crown Plaza in the South Hills at 6:30. We're going to be tasting these incredible products and sharing information about them, hearing testimonials, and also talking about the business.
So my listeners love the opportunity to get a tasting under the belt, sort of try the stuff on us rather than on them. They do very well once they get that first tasting. So both places now. Dr. Lori's going to have one as you address the group. That's going to be on Monday the 26th, 6 p.m. There will be a tasting there, right, Joe?
That is correct. Yep, 6 p.m. and tasting.
All right. Then the following day, while you're in town, you're going to meet in the Crown Plaza, which is a hotel right across the street from South Hills Village. So if you are in the South Hills, I think geographically, you're well positioned to attend. That's on 6:30 on the Tuesday. And if you're in the North Hills, well, that's Dr. Lori's place, Balance for Wellness. That's going to be on Monday. Now, Joe, coming to town as you do, and you have developed a fondness for us. We really enjoy you, too. What is it that you're going to be doing that these folks need to come out and hear your message? Why don't you take it for a moment, talk about the company that you represent and you really have a passion for, called Boesha, what they do, and then what you intend to be able to offer the public when they come out to see you at either of these two venues.
Well, thanks, Dr. Courtney. And what Boesha does is Boesha offers incredible products. We're a company that we use a business model called network marketing, where we actually share the products with people that we know, people that we meet on an everyday basis. And the products are so unique. They supply such a need for a serious problem that's going on. And the products are mainstream. It's things that we already consume, like coffee. Instead of giving you coffee that may be acidic or that may create more fat storage in your body, we give you Boesha Lean coffee, which, by the way, is AA Arabica, organic, infrared roasted, and fair traded. And it burns fat with a proprietary formula, which helps you shrink fat cells, and it's low glycemic. We have a tea that's low glycemic that burns fat, that's instant. We have a lemonade that's low glycemic that burns fat, that's instant. And we have a natural sweetener that is derived from organic superfruits that looks, feels, and tastes like sugar. However, you could give it to a diabetic, you could give it to a child. So we offer these products, and if people aren't interested in the business, then that's okay, because they love to buy these products. But so many people see the writing on the wall, and they go, wow, this is a great opportunity. Because anytime, it's economics. If you supply a great solution to a great need, you have one heck of a business model. And that is what Boesha does. So on Monday and Tuesday, the 26th, while I'm in the Pittsburgh area, the first thing we're going to be doing is tasting the products. And what's fun about the tasting is people are just blown away on how good the products are. And they ask questions about the products, and do they help with this, and do they help with that? And then we do an actual presentation where we talk more about it. We talk about the company. And what I like about what we do, Dennis, is we let people decide. what I've learned over the years, and especially here of late with our economic situation, is 8 out of 10 Americans are dissatisfied with the money that they make, with their income. So we show them how to share these products and make an extra income, which can be full-time. We have many people that do Boesha full-time, and that's what we're going to be talking about Monday and Tuesday. The product, the business, what's in it for them as a customer, what's in it for them as a distributor, and it's very exciting.
Well, the products themselves, you just can't try them and put them down. You're going to want to have them. That's why the company has grown so exponentially fast, because the product is what leads the way. Other people decide how they want to utilize that product just for their personal use. That's fine, but they also see the potential opportunity, and you're really the actual go-to person when it comes to being able to describe how they may see themselves and improving their incomes as time goes on. So we've enjoyed being a part of Boesha. We literally launched it here with the help of Dr. Angelo Mitsos, and he keeps on remaining in the background to help us and nurture us so that we can ascend to the level of prominence in the company. Of course, we already feel we're quite prominent already. We know that we have the heart of your owner and CEO, George Najar, who's been in town also, and he's got a fondness for Pittsburgh. He sees the great potential here too, so I expect that maybe in the up and coming future. Any Boesha events other than the two you're going to be involved with that maybe our listeners need to know?
Actually, Sunday I'm going to be in Pine Grove, Pennsylvania, believe it or not, so I'm going to be going right past you guys. But the event I think you may have heard us talking about is the last weekend in February. And we're going to be in Orlando, Florida on Friday the 27th and Saturday the 28th in Orlando, Florida. And I'm very excited about this. So we do regional events where we bring in the scientists, we bring in everybody in from all over the country and train you. And that's what really kicked off my career, Dennis, was going to a regional event many moons ago in Baltimore, Maryland, and now here 21 years later, I'm still in this industry. It's kind of cool.
Absolutely. All right, before we say farewell to you, why don't you just take a crack at that, explaining the products as best we can to allure, to be enticing to a listener who may not be familiar with Boesha. Of course, that means you haven't been listening to the show, and that's fine. At least you're listening now. But for those that may not have tried these drinks before, once again, the go-to coffee, tea, which is an iced tea, and lemonade. Talk to us about the potential, taste-wise and physiologically, that make these so unique. They're one of a kind. There is no such a product that matches the capabilities of these. How so, Joe?
Well, I'll tell you. Let's start with the coffee, okay? And it was very exciting. So without using chemicals, without using something that is harmful to you, something without depleting the adrenal glands, we take AA Arabica coffee. As I said, organic, no chemicals, infrared roasted and fair trade. And Dennis, to the best of my knowledge, I don't think there's another company in the U.S. that could say what I just said. Those four things: Arabica, organic, fair trade, and infrared roasted. Very exciting because, you know, a lot of people love coffee, but they'll even drink the coffee and suffer with the acid reflux. Well, our coffee is very low in acidity. So it's very easy on your digestive system, okay? And then we actually add what we call slendronol. Slendronol is our patent-pending formula that when you drink it, the coffee, we also learn is that the slendronol actually doesn't spike your blood sugar. So you remain even keel throughout the day, as the slendronol with chromium shrinks fat cells. And, you know, it's funny because people don't realize, whatever, you know, I know you know this, whatever we don't use for energy, we store in our fat cells. We store those calories. Well, the Slendronol shrinks fat cells like squeezing a tennis ball and squeezes that energy out into your bloodstream. And you have even keel energy for 5, 6, some people report 7 to 8 hours a day. So that's how the coffee works. Well, the tea works just as well like that, but only has a green tea extract. So it's instant. Obviously, the coffee you brew, the tea is instant, and it burns fat with the caffeine and the green tea extract and the chromium, and it gives you wonderful energy. Some people say that the tea gives you more energy than the coffee. I generally drink the coffee. My wife drinks both. But, it gives people a choice because the tea you drink cold. You just pour it. It's very convenient. Then the Fit. Now, the Fit, I think, is maybe our most obscure product, but it is our most intense product, and it doesn't have caffeine in it. And this is another thing that I think is interesting because, not everybody wants to have caffeine. There's some people that don't put caffeine in their body, so they can drink the Fit. Now, here's what's exciting about the Fit. It has a fat burner in it that's been clinically trialed, which is the extract from the green coffee bean. That's just a coffee bean that hasn't been roasted. But it also has something magnificent in it that a lot of people don't know about, and that's the L-arginine, the branched chain amino acid that forces our body to make nitric oxide. Well, Dennis, I know you doctors, when you hear about nitric oxide.
Yeah, it's a smile. It's
that's a smile on your face because, it is.
It's always beneficial.
Life molecule.
Yeah.
I've heard you guys call it and say so many wonderful things about it. But nitric oxide is also a precursor to growth hormone. So, you can take this product 2 ways, which I think is really cool. You can take it during the day, before or during or after exercise, and you don't even have to exercise. You can just take the product during the day and oxygenate your bloodstream and improve your artery and blood vessel health by creating nitric oxide. But if you want to take it at night before you go to bed, then when you fall into your deep sleep, you start producing growth hormone like you did when you were a kid, and that's how I explain it to people. I think a lot of people don't realize that we start aging at the age of 23 and we start making less and less. But what if we can make our body's own natural GH and rebuild and replenish and refresh while we're sleeping and build muscle mass and all those great things? I think it's really, really cool. And that's what the Boesha Fit does. No caffeine. And, that's why I said most obscure, because if you start thinking about it, the health benefits of arginine just go forever and ever. So it's nice that we have a product line, 2 products with caffeine, 1 without, and then we have the sweetener, which I think is wonderful. I tell people it looks, feels, and tastes like sugar, but it's dehydrated fruit, and it's safe for diabetics. Now, how cool is that? Not many people will say that.
I tell you, the go-to drinks are so. The fact that they just taste good alone, you wouldn't have to open your mouth about any other special quality. They pretty much present themselves what they are, a very good tasting way that you can quench your thirst throughout the day. But when you start adding all those additional items that nobody else has ever put together, you're right about the 4 things in that coffee. I don't think there is another product in. I'm going to say the world, let alone the country, that can boast of that. And that was a starter. That was a signature product. That's what kicked it all off. And there'll be more products to come as they do make it to the marketplace. Well, we'll launch them right here. Joe, you're coming to town. Folks, if you want to taste this stuff on us, you can try it. Here they are. This weekend, tomorrow morning, 9 to 10 at Dr. Tyson Swiggert's office. That's right there at the I-79 exit. At South Point. And then Joe's coming to town the 26th and 27th. 26th up in the north at Dr. Lori Langwich's place called Balance for Wellness. And then in the South Hills at the Crown Plaza Hotel, right across the street from South Hills Village. 6 o'clock on Monday, 6:30 on Tuesday. Hope to see you there. Joe, look forward to seeing you again. Thanks for coming aboard this morning.
Dennis, thank you for having me. God bless and have a great weekend.
Okay, Joe, thank you. Same to you. There you have it, folks. From a guy who I don't know, Dr. Joe Giuliano, the #1 sales guy for the whole company. All right, folks, ready to switch some gears? Let's take a short break. When we come back, we literally changed the whole format of the place. We open it up to you if you got a mind to by giving us a call at 412-825-6262. You can ask a question. You can make a comment on any subject you'd like to. I'll listen for the knock on the door, and I'll let you in the store. Be right back in just a moment. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AIM Impact on Your Health. Heard here in KHB 620 each and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 8 to 9. We're here with you today on a Friday morning version of the show. We have now declared it Get 'em Up and Out of Town version, where you can come on in at any moment and set the agenda as you see it. You do so by dialing us up at 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. They'll let me know you're knocking on the door, and then I will let you in the store. Let's find out. Question or comment, either form of communication is okay by me, and I'll listen for that knock. Speaking of knockers, we have one right now. Why don't we welcome them on in? Come on in the store. Hello, welcome aboard. What's on your mind?
Hello, Dr. Courtney.
Hi.
Hi. I have two questions. Regarding the LDI, do you do that in your Monroeville office?
Yes. The nice thing about it is it's so portable that when I go out there, and my time out in Monroeville is one day a week. I'm out there on Mondays. I can easily do and have done and will continue to do all forms of antigen therapy. The classical ones we call LDA. These newer ones, these autoimmune ones, are called LDI, but they're both able to be administered in the Monroeville office. Yes.
Okay. And how long does it take before you actually know it's working?
We say that something's going to shake within a week of having received it. In fact, I hang on the very bated breath of that patient, hearing that either something wonderful happened for them, or, now get a load of this, I don't want you to take this wrong, or something bad happened to them. Now, bad just means they could have a rough day or a few days. It only lasts that long. But if I can get either response, what it really tells me is I have found the antigen. And in the first case, I have the right dose of that antigen. And in the second case, when the person's not feeling like they were helped at all, in fact, they're feeling lousy, they can actually smile along with me if they can force that smile, because that means we've got the antigen. We will be able to reverse whatever we're going after, and all I have to do is lessen the dose. I've got to decrease the dose. So I try to start out with a very safe dose for everybody so as not to provoke that kind of response. But if I have I will apologetically 8 weeks later come in with the next dose up, and it's off by a magnitude of 1,000. So it'll be very easy to get to your real dose and not have that happen ever again.
So can a patient expect to need to come in once a week?
Oh, when you would do LDA or LDI, however we're phrasing it for you, you only do these injections once every 2 months.
Okay.
The half-life of the cells that end up being generated from doing LDI or LDA, that has a half-life of 90 days. They're called T suppressor cells, and they are created against whatever it is that you have an immunological response against. Well, that's
already antibodies is my situation.
Well, antibodies are a different matter. Antibodies, which are provoked when an allergist does his injections, ours are completely different. When an allergist does his injections, they give them sub-Q, the injections are under the skin, and they'll form antibodies, and the antibodies only live for 14 days. That's why the world of the allergist requires that you be seen every single week for a lot of years. Here, because we're stimulating cells and we're in the skin, not underneath it, we have half-lives of 90 days and plus. So once every 2 months is as soon as you can get the next injection.
Okay. And then a person can continue to go to work and...
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They should work just fine, especially if we get over that first dose thing where we've given you a bad day or two, which I'm going to be apologetic for, but it's a good thing, by the way. If we get a response, we've got the antigen. And when you have the antigen, you will win. It's just knowing whether it was good things that it provoked or maybe not so pleasant, that the antigen is now known, and we'll get the right dose and be able to turn whatever it is we're working on around.
Or would you add in other things too, like if you had an allergy to dust, or just specifically for Yersinia?
No, it depends. Let's just say this. I almost assume that the 3 classical allergies are pretty much universal. That means that even though you may be seeing me for a serious autoimmune disease, I'm going to end up addressing inhaled allergens. Quite a few people have them. The next category, oh my God, the foods. So many foods provoke allergic responses. And then the final category are the chemicals. Now, these are the classical allergic responses that we can actually fix so that you don't have to give up foods anymore, and you can go outside all times of the year and have exposure to all sorts of substances that provoke reactions. That's standard. That's LDA. When we address your particular diseases, whether that, you mentioned Yersinia, maybe you have an issue with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, for instance, or
I do.
Okay, well, you already happen to know that Yersinia is the bacteria mixture that we use. So we have to find the right bacteria to treat autoimmune. We have to get the mixtures of inhaled foods and chemicals to treat the classical allergies, and we will do all of them at the same time.
Okay, great. Okay. And that can all be done in Monroeville?
All can be done in Monroeville. Come on out and see me.
Okay. The other question is, I developed a spontaneous pain in my hip on my left side. I also have a torn ligament in that foot. It's been suggested to me by a nurse friend that I could have torn a ligament in my hip. What are your thoughts on that, and what would diagnose something? What would diagnose the problem with the left hip now?
Okay, so how long has this left hip problem developed?
Oh, about a week.
All right, well, this is completely...
maybe about a week and a half.
All right, so at this stage of the game, it's most likely soft tissue. I don't believe you fractured anything like that. And
I did not fall or anything.
Sure. And so you could just, by the way, if you had a foot problems that caused you to shift how you walk, that alone is how you can develop pain upwards from the knee, the hip, and the shoulder, and the like, on upwards right at the top of your head. So that is a possibility for why your hip's starting to bother you out of the clear blue sky. But those are acute injuries that need their time to heal. And the good news is greater than 90% of the time that is going to resolve. It can be helped along, first of all, to be assured of the diagnosis. If you come on out and let me examine you, I can be able to tell you with a surety if this description is actually you. It just sounds like what's going on with you. And if it is, it will 90% of the time get better. It will heal. It won't need any special attention. The give and go mark to determine if that's needed is 3 months. This thing should be all gone, wrapped up, a thing of the past within a 3-month period. And if it is not, it will require treatment, but that's rare, 10% of the time. If you're a lucky person, you're going to be in the 90%. If you're not, you're going to be in the 10. But if you're in the 10, it's a fixable problem also. It's just going to require professional intervention. Okay?
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Have a great day.
You too. Hope to see you soon.
Okay.
There you have it, folks. Right out of the chute. You can tell she's been listening, folks, huh? Your Cindy, she's got a pretty big words around, but of course, if you suffer from autoimmune disease and that long list, I refer you to the show we did on Wednesday. Go to it. I didn't count them up, but there must be 25 or 30 different diseases, real exotic names, scary sounding, because you know when you hear them, you go, oh my God, do I have one of those? And then you know that you're really not going to get any resolution to the problem because autoimmune disease, and this is embarrassing to say, treated in the conventional realm, have no correction. And the occasional use of steroids to quiet you down, only to let the thing redevelop at some other time throughout the year. This seesaw, up and down, back and forth, is the way medicine handles it, and it's not necessary anymore. These are fixable problems. Come on out and see us. We are, for sure, your Lyme's disease headquarter. We call it the anti-zone. More on that Wednesday. Another knock on the door. Come on in the store. Hello, welcome aboard. What's on your mind? Go right ahead.
Hi, Dr. Courtney.
Hi.
I was out to see you on Tuesday.
Oh.
Had my first LDI.
Oh, how'd that go for you?
And so I had a couple of questions relative to that. So I had 3 done. I had the food, the inhalants, and cafeteria. And so my reactions, I don't know if this is a reaction. I mean, it was swollen. Mainly, it continued to swell, particularly the inhalant portion.
That's at the injection site. And so before you leave, usually a nice little halo, little red halo begins to appear around any one or all of the injection sites. And sometimes it's very minimal. Sometimes it's pretty noteworthy. I don't remember yours being all that noteworthy.
No, it wasn't noteworthy then, but it was, later on.
Oh yeah. So by the next morning, by the next morning, how large of an area had encompassed the EE? How many? You said you had 3 or 4 different ones.
I had 3.
You had 3. Okay. So how'd they look the next day? Pretty expanded.
This seemed to be primarily around the inhalant.
Okay. All right.
And it got, I'm going to say, the size of an orange maybe. In diameter, and then it also was, high. I mean,
it was great.
It wasn't just the redness. There was also a swelling to it.
Well, that just for everybody's, I'm sure I explained it to you, but those are the very responses that I'm happy to hear. That because that is absolutely showing that within the mixture, you had a single or multiple antigens that your immune system began attacking right there as the stuff sat within your skin, just underneath the skin, of course. Now, we're hoping that the T suppressor cells that result from this are going to take symptoms that you have had and, first of all, decrease them and then ultimately eliminate them. So have any symptom changes occur with you that are noteworthy that you want to tell us about?
Well, I would say some of the symptoms I had a couple hours later that day, I was really tired. I mean, it was almost like, needed to take a nap kind of tired.
And that's not normal for you, huh?
No,
All right.
not normal for me. And then I would say over the next day or so, I had some GI changes, a little bit of gas, some loose stools. Again, not normal
Okay.
for me.
All right. Actually, those responses, because that's not typical for you, I think we should relate them to the antigens you were exposed to, wherever in those mixtures, and so I'm going to interpret that as a positive. But in your case, because what were the 3 antigens you got now?
I got the foods, the inhalants, and then the bacteria specific to IBS.
Okay, so good. So we got all 3 of those in there. So 1 was for an autoimmune situation, and 2 for classical allergies. And I'll take that GI thing, okay, the gas and all that rumbling around there, as a very positive sign for the GI issues you suffer from. So I think that with your concern, I won't have to change the dose at all. And those that are listening, notice how we're just looking for some reaction, especially related to the system involved. I think I can tell you over the phone right now, over the airways, that you've got a good positive response. Now, 8 weeks from now, we do it again. Okay?
And actually, I did schedule it for 7 weeks, because I know when you talk to Dr. Harden, you guys talk 7 to 8 weeks. So
no sooner than 7. That's true. You can do an injection. The second one especially, at least 7 weeks has to pass. And so that's the earliest you can do it. I tell patients, make sure you schedule it at or around 8 weeks, but 7 weeks will be fine.
Okay.
Okay.
And the last thing, so depending on the specific symptom is how you connect it to which of the antigens.
That's correct.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for sharing your experience with my listeners. It just hits home for somebody who's considering doing this to hear that's how it went for you. I thank you for your contribution.
And also today, there is no redness, no itching, no swelling.
Around the injection sites. Okay.
Yes.
Very good. You're on your way. All right, there you have it, folks. Great that she called in. We are injecting, we're putting these mixtures into the skin itself, raising a wheel, W-H-E-A-L, a wheel, like a little bubble of 4 100ths of a cc that causes reactions to begin immediately. Now, there's a unique nervous system that exists within the skin. That's why we are placing it directly there. And that nervous system is called the dendritic nervous system. And it covers all of you, because skin covers all of you. And uniquely, this nervous system, I use the term hot-wired, let's just say, this nervous system is connected to all of your lymph nodes. And the lymph node is the site of immunological response. So when you can directly stimulate lymph node production of T cells, and in particular, the name of this T cell is called a T suppressor cell, by where you put the stuff, this is the advantage that we have over the poor allergists who are consigned to doing subcutaneous injections, where you get the formation of antibodies, not cells. The difference between the two, an antibody, which is helpful, don't misunderstand me, lives for 14 days tops. But that T suppressor cell lives for at least a half-life of 90 days and allows us after a year to start spreading this thing out. So instead of getting an injection once every 2 months, we should be able to move it to once every 4, maybe then once every 6, then maybe once a year, and have you completely control your symptoms. So if you have an interest in learning more about LDA, which are for the classical allergies, the inhaled, the foods, and the chemicals, or LDI, which is low-dose immunotherapy and deals with autoimmune disease, we've just recently been able to have such a designation, a distinction, because we got very sophisticated when it comes to autoimmune disease, and now adding it to the ability to correct these allergies just makes this treatment all the better for you. Okay. Looks like I'm not really getting to the 10 different signs of adult ADHD. With the about 10 minutes we have remaining, if anybody out there wants to call in, to ask a question or make a comment, the number to do that is 412-825-6262. That's 412-825-6262. I know what I'll do. I have one little article that certainly caught my attention because it was actually really different, and it has to do with here you are. Okay, got you up here. Eyelashes. Okay, and why ladies' long eyelashes are considered to be bad news. And here, get a load of this now, because I know that women really look at this as a premium. Have very long eyelashes. They actually get extenders, eyelash extenders, put on their regular lash, and those extenders contain, of all things, aluminum. These are made from artificial caps filled with water, aluminum caps filled with water. But when lashes are the natural length, get a load of this now, they reduce particle accumulation and evaporation by half in a wind tunnel. The lash and the length of the lash is very important with diverting debris and wind away from the corneal surface of the eye. They are determined to be the length that they are in a divine way because they are protective. When you put some additional lash on your own lash to extend them, you have screwed up the mechanism of divine inspiration and have caused actually a funnel effect. With the way it was described to me, where is it? When lashes were natural length, they reduced particle accumulation and evaporation. Okay, but longer lengths, they actually funneled air into the eye, drying them out and carrying in particles like dust and other debris. So if you're having eye irritation after having these little extenders put on, I know your eyes are looking gorgeous, but what they may look like and what they may feel like, they're two different things. And the exposure of the cornea to wind alone to almost make it an abrasive substance is just something I know you weren't counting on. Tests haven't confirmed the same long lash effect on women, but one doctor says she often sees dry eye cases when mascara is used to lengthen the lashes. So you don't even have to put an extender on it. Just by lengthening it with the mascara alone, ladies. I don't really know anything about these things. I know you do it, tweeze and all that. But the fact that there's a medical issue that can develop, I thought I'd pass on to you. Dry eye is multifactorial, but according to this dermatological expert, she thinks that this could be a contributing factor. And a corneal surgeon says it always makes problems worse whenever there are eyelash extensions that are involved with the cases they treat. And so I pass that one on to you. We let it go with that. All right. We're right here now at the Gun Lab portion. Just a couple of things to rehash to let you know what's up and coming. Don't forget tomorrow morning's tasting at the South Point Chiropractic Group. That's going to be at the I-79 exit of South Point. That's going to be 9 to 10. Then our guest Monday, Shannon, on Wednesday, going to launch a program called Anti-Zone. You'll see what I mean. So the three letters, get ready for them. AZT. By the way, that's the name of a chemical substance, an antibiotic, AZT. Nonetheless, we're going to have another three letters added to our long list of three-lettered medical treatments. And we're going to talk about that on Wednesday. Then Michelle Garlett's coming here next week. Oh, the tastings. Joe Giuliano coming to town on the 26th. Going to be up there at Dr. Lori Language's place, Balance for Wellness. That's on Route 8, going towards Butler. It's going to be 6 o'clock. I'll get you a direct address so you can plug it into your GPS. That's for you North Hills folks. For you South Hills folks, hey, we're gonna see you out there on the 27th at the Crown Plaza Hotel, which is right across the street from South Hills Village, right along Fort Cache Road. That's going to be 6:30 for a Boesha tasting and to meet Joe Giuliano, who'll tell you all about those products again. And those of you that may have an ear for a business opportunity, he'll also share that with you too. Don't forget, Shannon's coming to town. She's our expert on FSM, which is frequency-specific microcurrent. If you'd like to be evaluated on that day, she's going to be in the office one day. We've got plenty of slots we've already filled. We do have a few left. Give us a call here at 724-942-3002 and talk to Sister Sarah, who'll get you lined up to be seen at that time and hopefully have you fitted with the right program, frequency-specific program for your particular issue or issues. Okay, Bill is letting me know it's time to get on out of here. Look, I want you to have a wonderful weekend. Look forward to seeing you on Monday with Shannon. Until then, this is Dr. Dennis Courtney saying so long for AM Impact on your health.